morning everyone. So this is my group, and then I'll be introducing our comms plan to you. So I'll just start off. So the scenario is actually our institution, right, is located at Tiong Bahru. So we have selected our location to be at Tiong Bahru, where it's known for its heritage, and the school has decided to celebrate and spread of this part of Singapore's heritage from the area around the school, and the location will be held in our school itself. So these are the details, the date, the time, and the venue. Yeah. So I'll just very briefly tell you about the explanation of the process. There are actually 11 groups that we have focused on, but then we'll go into details into 2 of the groups mentioned. So Lester will be doing that later on. Yeah. So firstly, right, this is what we have planned. So it's a one-day event to celebrate and express of Singapore's heritage from the area around the school, which is Tiong Bahru. And then firstly, we'll be actually targeting the school leaders. So the purpose is actually to inform them about the details of the event and the people involved, the cost of event, and as well as that we will request for them to be around for the event itself, because the event will be attended by the local MP. Yeah. Secondly, it will be our fellow colleagues. So we'll be informing them of the details of the event as well and their duties, because the teachers are expected to be stationed in different areas during the event itself. And students. So I'll be talking about students and student leaders. So there are actually 2 different roles for this group of audiences. So firstly, for the students who are non-student leaders, right, they are required to participate and attend the event itself. So during the event itself, since the local MP will be around, right, we will be actually informing the students of the details of the event as well as the expected behavior that the teachers want of the students. But for the student leaders, right, they will be informed of their duties, such as bring the MP around or whatnot. Yeah, so this will be told to them, as well as the rehearsals prior to the event. So next, parents. So we'll inform parents of the details and then encourage them to volunteer for the event. So this will be talked more about during Lester's part. So next will be the MP encourage. So this is actually to invite them to the event so that they can bring the MP around and protect the MP. Then security staff, similarly, this one will be explained by Lester later on. And for canteen vendors, right, because for the first half of the day, right, there will still be school, so the canteen vendors will still be around to sell their food and whatnot. But then during the event itself, we'll be actually ordering food from caterers. So we actually inform them of the event and to close their stores by a certain timing. Yeah. Next will be the MOE officials. The purpose is also to inform them of the timeline of the event. So next will be external vendors. So for the event itself, right, since we'll be celebrating the heritage of the area, which is Tiong Bahru, right, we might need some artifacts from different vendors, and therefore we'll actually request for the necessary documentation that will be put up during the event itself in our school. And lastly, caterers. So like I mentioned earlier, we'll actually be hiring caterers for the event itself to cater some light food and snacks during the event for the students and the teachers to eat. Yeah, so next I'll pass on to Lester.
Okay, so as we talked about, right, when organizing an event, often there are many stakeholders that we have to take care of, and in particular for the written communication, which I did up, I thought it would be good to actually focus on 2 different stakeholders, namely the parents and also the security staff. The reason why is because I believe the tone is slightly different. Like for example, if you are talking about a letter to parents and a letter to, for example, your external vendors per se, because it's all going externally from internal to external, it might be of the same tone. You have to be a bit more formal. But the security staff is internal, and you might know them very well. So I thought it would be good to actually provide a second example in that sense, so that we can see the difference. Yeah, so to parents, we want to mainly inform them, encourage them. So we bear this in mind later as we move on to see the example. And for the security staff, it is to inform them and to also instruct them. So it's slightly different. Both to inform, but one is to encourage, another one is to instruct them. Yes. So for this first example, the letter to parents. Sorry, could you please toggle to the letter? Thank you. Yes. Okay. So maybe I'll give you about 30 seconds to get a brief look through. what you realize, right, is beyond the content, that it is organized very formally. It is a letter, and you will see that the main important information is highlighted, sorry, not highlighted, it's bolded, and it's basically so that the parents can have easy access. At one quick look, they don't have to sit down the information, but it's organized nicely in just one block over there. They can just look there and get everything that they need. And also, right down to the bottom, thank you. Yes, you have information like the contact numbers and whatnot for the teacher in charge and also for the general office. Everything is very formal, and you would have like the school's logo, grow, learn, blossom, not blossom, blue, sorry, and the awards below. And all these things are kind of necessary if you are going, if you are writing a letter outward from within the school outward, so that they can kind of get a more formal feel and also kind of get a sense that, okay, this is a formal letter that's going out, as compared to if you are writing, let's say, to a parent regarding like something that their child did or whatnot. I don't think all these things will be necessary. Yes. And yeah, so can we go back to the slide, please? Yes. So you realize that formatting is formal. You have your school logo, contact number, school awards, main information highlighted, as I said before. The tone is formal, and also the choice of words. It can be marginally flowery, per se, to convey a form of formality. And the reason why I included this is because you realize that in the letter to the security, that's why I asked that question just now, I made an intentional effort to make it a bit simpler. So all the flowery words that I could have added in, I thought it wouldn't be very appropriate, so I chose to take it out. Yes. So a letter to security, can we go to a letter to security? No. Yes. So you see, it's right off the bat, you realize that there is no letterhead. There is no, it doesn't look as formal as the letter before. You don't have any like, what, school awards, left, right, center, because they are part of the school. They already know. It's a bit pointless to like remind them, oh yeah, we won all these awards. But straight off the bat, you're just addressing them as how you usually call them. And you highlight and bold certain key information. And then the information is organized in a table form like this. Yes. Okay. Can we toggle back to the slide, please? Thank you. Yeah, so the formatting is less formal, main information and events also highlighted, because ultimately you are still informing them, so they need to catch a hold of whatever important information that you are bringing across to them. Tone is definitely courteous because you are instructing them to do something. You do not want to come across as being draconian and being like, hey, can you please do this? But you want to be nice because often they are your seniors as well. And the choice of words, only one is needed. Okay. Yes. And with that, I'll pass on the time to Davin to do a skit.
No, very unfortunate, there's no skit. Okay, but so I'm in charge of doing the part in the oral communication. So I've actually chosen to address the staff. So that's all the colleagues, including the school leaders, and also the next one is on the student leaders. So one is the school staff, one is the students. So you can see there will be a difference. So for the staff address, right, the first thing is on the PAC. The purpose is to arouse interest, give them a brief overview, because the context, right, this is their first time they ever know about this event, other than the things that which they hear from like people lah. Okay, so the audience is all teaching, admin staff, including Ps and Ds. Okay, so can you help me toggle to the script? Okay, so we have to prepare a script, something like that. So it's all the details are there. So essentially we'll be just reading from the script. Good afternoon, colleagues. Some of you, okay. So I don't really want to go through everything because I've highlighted some key points. Okay, can we just toggle back to the slides? Okay, so yeah, good. Then here, so the tone is very formal. So some of the words that I just extracted out from the script. Okay, I've summarized the things you need to know into 3 major points. Okay, Vanda will be hosting an inaugural heritage exhibition on the 7th of October in our school compound. Guest of honor is Min Ong, and we're expecting extensive media coverage. So it's like a lot of the important details being highlighted in the script. Okay, and then the second part is how to arouse interest, how to inform rules. For example, we will say, oh, 8th October, Tuesday is a recovery day, it's a school holiday, rejoice. Okay, and then inform rules, please stay tuned for more information, and our staff will come and contact you, during the next staff contact time. Okay, so that's the first one to the school staff. Okay, next one is actually to the student leaders. So this is it's just for 10 student leaders. These student leaders are actually tied together with the vendors. So these student leaders will work directly with the vendors. And then, so there are 10 vendors, so expect roughly about 10 student leaders, each one to one vendor. Okay, so what we have here, so the purpose is to tell them what duties they are supposed to do. Also to give them thanks, because like just now the previous group presented that all these student leaders, they might be afraid, they might be worried and things like that. Okay, so actually I have a script, so if you can take a look at the script, it's not as not all the details are there, because this is it's supposed to incorporate some form of a bit of a impromptu, some form of spontaneity, so you don't expect everything will be scripted and sentence by sentence, just so the main points are here. Okay, now I have a brief recording of the script, so you can hear from the, okay, can we go to the recording?
Okay, good afternoon student leaders. Thank you for bringing the services to the school for this major event that Manda is proud to be hosting. Okay, so I can guarantee.
Okay, so you can hear from the speech. It's a bit more informal. It's spontaneous. Okay. Again, I've extracted some sentences out which you can see. Slightly informal. Hold your questions. Let me just convey what your duties might be, and then you all can shoot the questions. Okay. So it's more informal, and then next is to express thanks and to tell them that, oh, you are all very important to Manda. Thank you so much. Okay or not? So this is where you come in, and you'll help to ensure that the process runs smoothly. Okay, so things like this. Okay, so next part, I'll just hand on over to QA to conclude.
Okay, so we've talked about our rough communication plan for this event. So after all is said and done, it is also very important to know where we can improve. So that's when the evaluation comes in. So now we need to start to think, what can we actually do and ask so that we can actually see areas of improvement and where to improve from what we've already done. And what kind of data we can collect to ensure that this data that we collect actually helps us and tells us where to improve on. So the three important questions that we actually ask is, how did the participants of this whole event come to know of this details? So students, all this, we have more control, but yeah, it's very good to ensure that the intended participants actually got the message from our intended medium. So maybe from our speeches and emails for the staff and things like that. But if they say something else instead, then we kind of know that maybe we did not really communicate to them appropriately using that sort of medium. So the next question we'd like to ask is, when did the participants come to know of this event? So, of course, the vendors, all this, need to have this kind of information way ahead in advance. So if you do not have communicated with them earlier, or they've perceived that we have communicated with them later, then we know that maybe there's some sort of mishap we have done with our communication timeline. Last but not least, we need to ensure that whatever we say is actually useful. And we need to ensure that our audience picks up what was useful from our messages. So we need to ask if they found our delivery useful or not. Last but not least, we talk about the reflections of our group. So I've consolidated what we've actually taught within like one line or so. So for Lester and Clarice, what they kind of thought was important from this whole process was the tone that we deliver to our audience. What was the correct tone? How do we actually look at it that way? Then for me and Davin, Davin comes from this perspective that it is actually a more dynamic process throughout this whole communication plan. Like, you cannot just think of it one way, but you must think of it all coming into a synergy. Well, for me, I believe that it was very important that we had the purpose to anchor this whole process on. So as you can see, the whole idea of the PAC is actually pretty primitive, I would say. So the whole process is actually much more complicated. So from the process, we can actually then start to think about the content, the relations that we have with people, the tone we need to do, the means at which we deliver our content. And these are not contained in their own bubble. They must come together in some sort of dynamic form. And with all of this together, build up, then we can form the proper message that we want to deliver to our audience. And with that, thank you.
Thank you for that. question regarding the communication to the staff as well as like the admin staff and colleagues. So I understand the first communication will be on engaging their interest, but have you considered using other means other than this formal meeting for this first time engagement? Because very often I think the meeting is like for us to really highlight something, but perhaps something would have gone out like through email beforehand. Is this the only part where we have or
end of the day, I think stuff that is scheduled to be way before the plan. So it's the first time where they will get to know lah. Then after that, then the email blast will all come in lah. Because you know sometimes you email then you see from school, and sometimes you don't click or these kind of things. Yeah, my thing is just an email blast. So is to get them aware, because stuff contact everyone must be there. Okay, so ensure that everyone knows about it already. Then after that, then subsequent, because that is just the very first time they heard.
If you could share with us, when you're communicating with the staff to arouse interest and inform their roles, what are the anticipated challenges or considerations, or what are the considerations that you would have at this point?
At this point,
to ensure that this written communication is delivered effectively.
I think very importantly is because there will definitely be a group of people who might not be so willing to work together. So I think as a presenter, when I'm presenting this speech, not just reading off the speech, I have to take note, like look across the everyone, and then you can roughly have a feel which department or which group of teachers are not so into this, and then maybe you can approach them and have a talk, and then see what kind of roles will fit them better, so that ensure everyone is